Hi, this is Justin Shuey, and this is my final reflection on the Introduction to Project Management for Educators. In response to the final reflection set of criteria for responding to it starts off with responding to our initial video. I first of all would like to say that initially I wanted to do this project, first of all, because I'm interested in project-based learning, and I think it's far more engaging for students, and I think that it's exactly the direction that I want to go for the rest of my career. But we also have a local zoo that's only about a mile away from the school that I teach at, and I've always wanted to sort of get engaged with them more and get my students engaged in the public. And as far as presentations, I've always done a lot of presentations, but I want them doing them in the public. And I want the public to be able to respond to what they do, and I also want the public to understand uh, that there's an extension of the public school into the community and that we're actually providing a service. So it was one of the things I've always wanted to do. So since our local zoo is nearby, I created basically an essential question about like why are zoos essential? Why do we even need them? Some people, there's a lot of negativity around them and taking animals out of their natural habitat. And so what's the entire point? Why do we even have them? Why are they publicly funded? Why do people go to them? And what's the purpose of them? So that's where it initially started. Well, I started to think about it, and I wanted to initially I wanted to do a number of different things. For me and for my students, when I do large projects like this, I like to create some kind of a research booklet that kind of keeps them on track. There's timelines incorporated into it. There's processes that are incorporated into it, and it really helps me control sort of kind of what's going on, and it helps them really fully understand exactly what it is I need them to do because they're pretty complex. So I did create this. The reason I'm going to show you most of this is because I'm having a hard time right now getting to share this to the Moodle format, and also I'm having a hard time sharing it to the Google Docs for the repository. So I'll contact Catherine to see if we can't get that taken care of. But I'd really like to share it with anybody that's interested in using it. But this is what it looks like. So it's for fifth grade, and it's called the Zoo Curator Project. I think I put This Zoo's for You, so I changed the name just a little bit. But it includes, of course, a table of contents, and then it goes through and it has students record the actual scientific data and the research that they're asked for on each one of the sections that they are all required to provide for their teams. And it goes through each one of those, and then it flips over to the actual processes of the essay. And what I'm showing is what we consider buckets, which are basically body detailed project or paragraphs. And there's just a format for each one of those, and it helps keep students in fifth grade sort of on track. There's 4 different ones that I came up with. And then, of course, there's a section for the intros and for the conclusions. And then we have a citing your bibliographies source for the end. And then, of course, we have a scoring guide for the actual essay and a scoring guide for their presentations. Now, these sections are primarily for me, even though there is a self-scoring section, and I've come up with a separate sheet for that about how to evaluate yourself, and then this is the reflection sheet. And then the one thing I'm most proud of, and the students and I came together and actually generated, this is on 2 sheet. This is 2 actual scoring guides on 1 sheet, just so we could expedite like the printing. But this is what we would hand to the community members when they come up for each presentation. It's very simple. They just fill in each section to make sure that we're fully covering the information. All right. I also did a task description sheet just to keep students on task that actually included timelines and then a specific rationale for each one of the actual sections that they were required to cover. And then, of course, there's a timeline. A timeline, and then, of course, all the materials that are needed for each one of them. Okay. Now, we couldn't get some of the presentations in until later in the year, so we're not completely finished with all of it, even though we will be definitely finished and ready by the time that comes around, weather permitted, of course. All right, so what did I learn in this? So far, I love it. I think that my final reflection here needs to definitely account for the fact that my students are incredibly engaged in this process. They are so much more excited about it than just like the general typical research essay that we would do on whatever topic that I picked at the time. We typically do something called DBQs, which stands for document-based questions, and they enjoy those processes. But to let you know, it's actually essential it's, I mean, absolutely essential for me to continue on this process for the rest of my career. I absolutely love it. It's been a lot of work, but it's been so engaging and so worthwhile. So I cannot wait to continue on and to see how it ends up. The presentations, I'm so excited about them, and I think that parents and community members are going to be thrilled. So thank you, and hopefully we'll be able to share more. Bye bye.